Good morning from Cooking with Gerry. You can probably hear my neighbor's roosters, which are just above on a hill, maybe about 200 meters from our kitchen. And we have a tasty, nutritious, whole foods breakfast. But first, let's go to a short video from earlier. Part one is the pre-soak process. You can see here in this plastic container there are black-eyed peas, these red peas that have lost some of their color, and chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, soaking for about 16 hours, and I changed that soaking water twice during those 16 hours. I'm going to drain it and then put it in my saucepan, which is on a low heat, with some water. And I removed some of the black-eyed peas and the red beans, and I'm going to try and sprout them, see how that goes. I also want to show you right here, this is flax seed that I washed and have been soaking in this water for about 8 hours. And same with the chia seeds, although you can't wash the chia seeds beforehand. So these are going to be part of the bean stew. And I also want to show you another experiment. Here in this container I have alfalfa seeds. I'll let them soak for 24 hours, drain the water, and try and sprout these as well. So the beans, chickpeas, black-eyed peas, and those red beans went into a saucepan with water, and they cooked on a low heat for about 40 minutes with a low to medium boil. And I like to keep the lid a little bit open on my saucepan to minimize that foaming and overflow that can happen. I watched two videos recently by Dr. Stephen Gundry, Gundry. Really good videos. I strongly recommend you invest some of your time to watch his videos. Lots of useful information. From those two videos, I have changed my process a little bit. I will soak the beans longer. This time they soaked for 16 hours, but it's recommended even 24 or 48 hours to soak those beans to remove the lectins, which is part of the plant's chemistry as far as protecting itself from insects or other predators that might otherwise eat it. So I have extended the soaking time and also the cooking time. So they cooked for 40 minutes. He recommends also using a pressure cooker, makes the cook time a lot shorter. After those 40 minutes, I turned the heat off, let it cool, and then I drained that cooking water and cleaned the saucepan and started again on a low heat with fresh water, and that cooked for about 15 minutes. When that water came to a boil, I added the flax seed, which you saw earlier, and then at the end I added the chia seeds and some coconut oil, and those only cooked for a few minutes. Then I turned the heat off, let it cool. I have split the mixture into two because it's too much for me for one meal. And now in my saucepan it's come back up to a boil, and I am going to add some other ingredients, which will be my breakfast. The other half I will make for my next meal, probably adding celery, cabbage, and squash. So let's get started. Here in the saucepan it's at a boil for about 5 minutes now. Here I have about 2 tablespoons of whole oat flakes. It's what I have left, and that's going to go into the saucepan. I'll stir that a little bit. These oat flakes will absorb a lot of the liquid. The information that I've learned is it's better not to mix liquid and solid. You confuse the stomach and you dilute the digestive enzymes. So liquid or solid, but not both together. And here I have a small handful of dried fruit, which is cranberries, yellow raisins, and purple raisins, and also a small handful of grated coconut, and they were washed and rinsed, and they're also going to go in. And these will also absorb some of that liquid from the cooking water of the beans. And a quick stir of that. You can also pre-soak the oat flakes and the dried fruit and the coconut. And the last food ingredient here are 2 eggs that I've cracked into a bowl. I like to do that instead of just cracking it directly into the saucepan, just in case the egg is not good. Either it's rotten or there was a crack in it. And these I got from another neighbor. So they're farm fresh eggs, a lot more nutrition than the farm factory eggs. So those are going to go in, using the spatula to get what's stuck on the bowl. And to clean this bowl and this frying pan, I'll use some vinegar, which will remove that raw egg smell, and also disinfect. And the reason I'm using the frying pan instead of a saucepan is because of the eggs. The main reason, and also much easier for you to see once I show you at the end. If I use a steel saucepan, the egg will stick. So with this Teflon coating, the egg will stick much less, and it'll make the cleanup easier. So this is going to cook for maybe 2 or 3 minutes on the low heat. Then I'll turn it off and let it sit for probably 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and everything will thicken. I'll add some salt and probably extra virgin olive oil, and that will be my breakfast. Let me show you what it looks like during the partial cooking process. Here is the leftovers. Oops, sorry, my foot kicked it. You can't see too much. The beans and the seeds, flax, chia, are underneath the liquid. And here is the breakfast. Lots of nutrition. The main thing is the whole foods. And there is some prep necessary the night before, or you can do it even before that if you want to try the 24 or the 48-hour soaking, pre-soak. Just make sure you change that water regularly, keeping it fresh and trying to remove the harmful lectins before you eat the food product. So that's it for today. You will have seen in the picture at the very beginning what it looks like after it has soaked up all the water, and lots of different ingredients you can choose for yourself. Depends on what you have available, what you like, and for whom you're preparing the meal, what they like. You might have to do 2 different preparations. For example, I split it in 2. If you're feeding a family of 4, you can have one part with the ingredients that half of your family like, and you can have the other half with other ingredients. For example, many people don't like the raisins and might consider it strange to put raisins with beans. So you would have one plate for them without those ingredients. For me, I like it. It adds a bit of sweetness. For my breakfast, I sometimes like a little bit of sweet without adding sugar. So experiment, enjoy, and thanks for watching.